Hello and welcome to Gravitas Plus. I'm Palki Sharma Upadhyay and I want to start by wishing all our viewers a very happy Independence Day. This is our 4th episode and we thought what better way of doing it than talking about the day it is being aired on, the 15th of August. It is a date with destiny. A total of 6 countries got their independence on this date in different years. You can say they were destined too. Bahrain, Congo, the Koreas, Liechtenstein and my country, India. The largest and the most exceptional democracy in the world, a country that is diverse in every possible sense, geographically, socially, culturally, linguistically, India is exceptional in many ways. And you can count them because of India. After all, it was India that helped the world count. These two gentlemen did. They gave mathematics its most important invention, zero, the circle of life. And speaking of life, the land the world knows as India today was once home to one of the 3 earliest civilizations in the world, the earliest. You may already know of this. What you may not know though is that this civilization was also the most widespread. It covered an area of 1.25 million kilometers and that too some 8,000 years ago. And if you think this is too much, then beat this. 6% of the world's languages are spoken in India. That's some 19,500 languages, dialects and mother tongues, each with its own uniqueness. And the numbers keep growing. The claims of many more languages for inclusion are under consideration in India. And speaking of claims, India has never claimed land that belongs to others, not once, no matter how many maps get fixed, no matter how many boundaries get redrawn, and no matter how much this man provokes. India has never coveted any territory or attacked any country. If anything, India has only taught others how to respect boundaries, not just geographical, but the ones that cannot be found on maps. I'm talking about cultural and religious boundaries. I'm talking about respecting diversity. Let me give you a small example. This month, August, started with Eid al-Adha. Last week, it was Raksha Bandhan. It will end with Onam. A total of 14 festivals are being celebrated in August alone. I could go on, but you get the point. Now let me tell you some very, very short stories from 1947, the year India got independence. Incidents from just before India's independence that give you a flavor of the times and help you appreciate how complex the process was. There's a good chance you've not heard of these stories and you'll enjoy them, I can tell you. If you have, I can only hope you enjoy the retelling. Story number 1. Lord Mountbatten's description of the key players in India. Nehru, he said, was a man of high principles but had a curious weakness for deferring to the judgment of strong men. These are his words. Patel possessed great common sense and had his feet firmly on the ground. And for Jinnah, Mountbatten said, my God, he was cold. Number 2. As partition was announced, do you know what was the first thing that people did? Rush to the bank. In all, 6 crore rupees was removed from savings accounts in Karachi alone. Story number 3. There was violence, looting and killing. Guess what Jinnah was bothered about more? His cigars. He wrote a letter inquiring about his carton of cigars in June. He had bank accounts in Delhi, Lahore and Bombay. He was informed that his total deposits in 1947 was 7,97,149 rupees, 12 annas and 3 paise. He was a rich man. Jinnah's house in Delhi, 10 Aurangzeb Road, was bought by an industrialist, Seth Ramkrishnan Dalmia, for 3 lakh rupees. Do you know what he did with it? He set up an office for the Cow Protection Center, apparently to maintain its historical significance. Number 4. In Delhi, an American visitor asked for Mahatma Gandhi's autograph. Gandhi demanded 20 rupees in return. After some haggling, they agreed on 15 rupees. The money was donated to the Harijan Welfare Fund. 5. After a prayer meeting, Gandhi quoted George Bernard Shaw. And this is interesting. An Englishman is never in the wrong. He does everything on principle. He fights you on patriotic principles. He robs you on business principles. He enslaves you on imperial principles. He supports his king on loyal principles. And he cuts off his head, the king's head, on republican principles. The English must be leaving India on some principle, said Gandhi. I would like to know, what is that principle? 6. In Nagpur, Justice T.L. Sheode took oath as a High Court judge wearing a Gandhi cap. A British judge asked him, "Do you sleep with the cap on?" Justice Sheodi said, "Yes, sir, just the way you sleep with your hat on." Number 7. The Delhi government announced a new pay scheme for the army, 3,000 rupees per month for a general, a grand total of 35 rupees for soldiers with matriculation. There was a party at the Red Fort. General Kariappa and Brigadier Raza gave emotional speeches, and the soldiers who were to form the armies of India and Pakistan sang for each other, for they were jolly good fellows. Number 8. There were 470 officers in the Indian civil services when India got independence. They were given a choice. 400 of them chose to retire on the 15th of August. Of the 70 who remained, 40 were in India, 30 in Pakistan. That's where we started. Number 9. The chairman of the BCCI, the Board of Cricket Control of India, A.S. De Mello, had this to say, and I'm quoting, "Sport should be spared from partition. This will harm both the games and the spirit of the games." The BCCI has not changed much. And number 10. Why did it happen at the stroke of midnight? Well, Mountbatten wrote a telegram to London explaining. He said, "Indian astrologers say it is an auspicious hour." In fact, at one point he raised a concern. He said there were no astrologers at the Viceroy House. It was proving to be a hindrance in setting dates, so they had to hire one. Those were interesting times. The future of a self-reliant India, where a Kashmiri youth can develop a mobile app that is faster than a recently banned Chinese app. The future of a more determined India, where we reduce our dependence on imported military hardware. An India that is a global leader, where an Indian sits on the high chair of the UN Security Council. An India that is a global manufacturing hub, where investors and companies shift their base from the land of a rogue neighbor. An India that is an energy powerhouse, where Indians help build the world's largest nuclear fusion reactor for a sustainable planet. I would genuinely like to believe that we are heading towards such a future. But it all depends on the decisions we take today. Think about it. I'll wrap for now. Happy Independence Day.